Hello and welcome to the Author's Lounge. My name is Paulette Henson and I'm super excited to welcome my guest today. Her name is Paula Hollis and she has written a book called Intentional Intimacy. So I'm super excited to bring Paula to the stage. Paula, welcome.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
So happy to have you. And so tell our audience about your book and what inspired you to write this book. I'm very interested.
Yes. So, first of all, thanks for having me here. So, my book is entitled Intentional Intimacy Lessons in Life, Love, and Relationships.
Wow.
And so, the book is a memoir of my 30-year marriage to my husband. And
Nice.
so, my husband and I were married for 30 years. I married him right out of undergrad. And he passed away on November the 24th of 2021.
I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
unfortunately, yes. He passed away approximately 6 weeks prior to retiring from 34 years at the U.S. Postal Service. I think I'm frozen. Let's see if I unfreeze for a minute there.
Okay, I think, yeah.
Am I back? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it was very sudden. It was not expected in any way. We were planning for his retirement and, not a clue in the world that he would pass away. And so now here I am trying to mitigate being a mom. I have 3 sons. My sons are 31, 23, and 17. I have a daughter-in-law and a 4-year-old grandson.
Wow.
And here I am now navigating singlehood and, all these different things. And so the book kind of came about because I always knew I wanted to write a book. And actually, I have several books that I've been wanting to write. And my husband was always the one that encouraged me in doing that. And he had said, when I retire, I'm going to make you sit down and write this book because I'm so tired of you not releasing this book. And so I was teasing him. I'm like, okay, all right, we'll see. And so as I was sitting down with my family in December after my husband had passed away for our first family meeting post my husband's transition, I'm like now spearheading family meetings, which my husband always did. And so I'm like, okay, how do I do this? How do I motivate these children? How do I keep this moving forward? How do we keep the legacy alive? And so as we were sitting there, my family, we meet monthly to go over our goals and to talk about our objectives. And so I decided that we would focus on 5 key pillars. And one of those key pillars, I won't name them all right now for time of interest, but one of those key pillars was community. What are you doing, not just for yourself, but what are you doing for others?
Yes.
And so part of my community outreach was to write a weekly blog. I am a blogger also. And so I decided to write a weekly blog entitled Martin Mondays. My husband's name was Martin. And so I decided that every Monday in 2022, I would write some type of entry to honor him on my blog.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, that gives me chills. I love that.
Thank you.
And I will say that you and I have something in common. I too lost my husband at a very young age. And I too had to navigate the single motherhood and just really take the steering wheel of the family. And so I understand, that responsibility and how you just literally you go into overdrive.
You do.
and so I commend you on, staying strong and being there for your family and utilizing your book journey, to fulfill your husband's legacy as well as your own. And
Absolutely.
so that's wow, it's so powerful.
Thank you. So yes, I took every Monday I would release an entry, and I never intended at that point to do a book.
Uh-huh.
But somewhere, kind of like after the first 3 months or so, I realized that this was becoming more than just blog entries. And so I I started the journey to self-publishing, and I released the book on what would have been my husband's 61st birthday in 2023. So,
Wow. Well,
yeah.
congratulations to you
Thank
for
you.
accomplishing that goal because when you have something like, oh, when you said I wanted to write a book and I've been thinking about it, a lot of people have that thought in their mind
Mhm.
and they're thinking, gosh, I want to do it. And it's that moment when you start, you feel, that you've conquered, that battle of it just hanging over your head. Like, I
Yeah.
need to get it done. And so I think that that's awesome that you took that plunge and that you self published as well. Thank you for attending the webinar.
Mm.
We're actually going to dive deeper into that self publishing webinar as well. So hopefully I'll see you. It's actually going to be this Thursday,
Oh,
and so I'll send you the information on that, so
okay.
you can, gain some other helpful tips as well.
Sounds
And
great.
so tell me, as you are writing your book and you're talking to your family about your book and your just your ideas of what you're going to do, what was their response?
So my three sons were extremely supportive,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't necessarily ask them at all if they wanted to participate. But at one point, my one son came to me and he said, "Is it possible for me to write a blog entry in honor of my dad?" And I
Yeah.
said, "Of course." Like,
Wow.
yeah, I would love to get, a perspective of one of his sons. So
Yes.
it ended up being that two of my three sons each wrote two entries, blog entries, which are in the book. And
Mhm.
it's really neat because they were reflective of very pivotal times. My one son wrote the one blog entry around Father's Day, talking about how his dad had encouraged him in his athletic endeavors. And then another son wrote about his first time starting a new job. Like, he actually had graduated from college. And of course, my husband had already passed away. And so
Mhm.
that was a difficulty in being finally graduating from college and his dad not being there. But
Yes.
my husband was one of great integrity, and he had a phenomenal work ethic. And so my son wanted to write, my bridge son specifically wanted to write an entry the first time he started working a full-time job, and how he was going to take all of the integrity and the lessons from my husband into his place of employment.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. That's so powerful. I love that.
yeah,
I
it was,
love that.
yeah. Thank you.
And I'm saying that because, it's a refreshing approach
Hmm.
to losing a loved one,
Absolutely.
and it's a productive approach, because you could easily sit in a corner somewhere and cry and cry and cry.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I love that you've taken all of that and you've put it into a book where
Hmm.
you're sharing with others, and that's phenomenal.
Thank
It
you.
truly is. And so now that you have, completed your book,
Hmm.
and by the way, for our audience, intentional intimacy is
Hmm.
available on Amazon.com. So definitely pick up this book from Coach Paula.
Thank
And,
you.
and by me saying Coach Paula, tell us about your coaching. Tell us about you. What else are you involved in?
Yes. So thank you for that opportunity. So literally, my husband passed away November 24th of 2021, as I indicated.
Hmm.
I have four brothers and I have two sisters. All four of my brothers have previously passed away.
Mm,
And my two sisters, my one sister passed away exactly 6 days prior to my husband.
mm,
So within the span of a week, my sister, my oldest sister, and my husband of 30 years passed away. Now, this
mm,
all happened in the month of November. And literally, my sister passed like approximately 10 days after I had finished my first in service as it related to getting my coaching certification. So, the program that I did required three cohorts of intense study as well as our weekly curriculum, but we had three dedicated weekends. And so I had spent Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in sessions from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. to start and kick off my coaching certification process.
wow.
And that Monday, I was tired, but that Monday morning when I got up, my niece called me and indicated that they had found my sister unresponsive.
Mm,
And they weren't really sure of her neurological status or her status in general. And
mm-hmm,
so we watched for 10 days while my sister had several neurological tests to determine her full neurological function. And once
mm-hmm,
it was determined and assured that she could not sustain life in her current neurological state, we had to remove her from life support.
mm,
And so my husband, he was there with me every day, supporting me and supporting my sister's six daughters and
mm-hmm,
everything. And so once my sister passed away, my husband continued to support me. And then he passed away 6 days later,
mm. Oh my
suddenly from a
goodness.
massive heart attack. And
Wow.
so it's interesting that through my grief stories, with my four brothers, my parents, my sister and my husband, as well as other relatives, my coaching strategy and my coaching niche is dedicated to those that are navigating grief, that are
Wow.
navigating loss, disappointment. And
Yes.
I help them to authentically and intentionally create healthy relationships, first with themselves. Because if
Yes.
you're not healthy with yourself, you're not healthy toward anyone else. And
That's
so
right.
my coaching practice focuses on that, moving path forward. How do
Yeah.
we move path forward to be able to have those authentic and intentional relationships with ourselves and with others? Also recognizing that all grief is not limited to the loss of a person or a pet.
That's true.
We
Yeah.
grieve divorce. We grieve,
Yes.
you know, uh, dreams deferred. We grieve so many things that we don't even realize we're grieving in. And so
Right.
that has become my niche to help with relationships and to help with those that are navigating grief and loss.
Wow. You raise a very interesting point about grief and how it's not just the loss of a person. And I
Um,
think that people don't realize that they only associate grief with the loss of a person, not
yeah,
the loss of a job or the loss of a friendship,
yes,
or those are things that you can experience grief behind. And so
absolutely.
very very good point. And it's a great niche to target, because there's so many people that coaching is a good word instead of going to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist to help
Hmm.
people with their issues. And I think that uh, having the coaching aspect,
Hmm.
it helps your clients to feel that they're working on themselves as well, not they're just
Absolutely.
going to someone and they're looking for, like, give me the answers, give me the blueprint of this
Hmm.
situation and I'll follow it. A
Hmm.
coach is going to help you to for you to teach you to how to work on your issues and
Absolutely.
coach you along the way. And so I think that is awesome. My
Thank
goodness,
you.
you never know what a person does, or
Mhm.
it's so much more than being an author of a book. And
Yeah.
you've even expanded that, with your coaching, and so
Yes.
I know that you are just reaching so many people that come in connection with you.
Oh,
uh,
thank you. I appreciate that. It definitely is. My desire, of course, is always to help people, but I never thought that this would be the lane in
yes,
which I
right,
would do it, but hopefully my grief stories and what I've encountered and the losses and the things that I've learned can help someone else. And so, because
yes,
I'm a firm believer that, the death of anything, a friend, a person, a friendship, the loss of a job, all of those situations and circumstances, they don't define us, but they
right,
do help us to find our path forward. So there
yeah,
are lessons learned in
yeah,
every relationship, whether the person is still here physically or not still here physically, things that we can learn. I've learned so much more about myself as I look through some of those pivotal life moments and those
yeah,
deaths and those separations. The genesis, even though death of a situation is the absence of life to that situation, it
yes,
creates life in you when you're
yes,
able to objectively assess it and be able to learn, how does this really impact me? What is the lesson that I need to glean from my relationship with that person? And it
yeah,
is amazing when you open yourself up to those possibilities to be able to grow and to go path forward. And
yes,
that is so important to me. And so much so that I actually wrote a second book.
yes. Well, tell us about that book.
Right. Once writing starts, you kind of can't let it go. It's like a
No.
floodgate that opens.
Yes,
And
yes,
I've done a chronological assessment of my journey, not just from my husband and my sister, but the lessons that I've learned from all of my losses and all of my grieving situations. And I wrote a book that's entitled The Journey from Grief to Growth.
mm,
And so it talks about practical steps for you to be able to move path forward through the grief process and then begin the growth process. And so that book will be out in, I'll say, August.
yay, awesome. Oh my goodness, I am so proud of you. First of all, you are
Thank
a
you.
beautiful woman. You have a beautiful smile, and
Thank
I
you.
just love what you're doing. You are
Thank you.
so empowering and inspiring.
Oh, thank
And
you.
your story, there's just so much power in your words. I'm
Yes.
telling you that.
Yes.
And so what you're doing, like I said before, is that you're opening up that door for people to come in,
Hmm.
and it's like you have a pitcher full of love and knowledge, and just information that will help people. And so now
Absolutely.
all they have to do is drink from it, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I just, like I said, I'm getting goosebumps just from everything that you've told me right now, and I know that our audience is going to feel you and feel your mission and support you. You are
Absolutely.
absolutely a phenomenal woman,
You as
and
well, Paula. Thank you.
thank you so much. And so, tell us about, your life. You have your boys,
Yes,
you have a grandson, you
I
said. Tell
do.
us about your family.
So yes, I do work still professionally. I have not shifted to this as my full-time vocation. So
Uh-huh.
I currently work for a major insurance company in the Philadelphia area. I've been there
Nice.
for 26 years, so I'm a pretty steady and stable type of
Yes.
person. My background is in both information technology and also in project management. And so I
Nice.
do project management for them. I'm a singer. So at my church, I'm
Uh-huh.
the servant leader over our music ministry. And so I do lead worship and I'm the overall administrator for our music team. I also sing with this group that some people may have heard of. It's called Maverick City Music. I'm one
Wow.
of the choir members with Maverick City Music. And it's so funny. My son had sent me a memory. You know how your Facebook memories come up? It was exactly
Yeah.
1 year ago that he had gone with me on our tour to Canada because Maverick had done a concert in Canada. And he's like, Mom, look at our memories. We were in Canada 1 year ago today. And I'm like, oh, wow. It goes, sometimes you forget, but Facebook memories always seem to remind you. So
Oh, you know what? I love those memories because you do forget, and all of a
you
sudden
do.
you pop up in a picture of this
Yeah,
happened 5 years ago, this happened a year ago. You're like, oh wow, thank you for reminding me.
exactly. So yeah, so I sing. And I mean,
Wow.
that's, yeah, those are the two biggest things. I'm a speaker, so I am available to do workshops, facilitation, moderations, and any keynote or panel discussions. So I
Yeah,
speak regarding my platforms as well. Yeah.
great. Well, I am going to connect you with a gentleman who is part of the Black Business Expo. It's the
Awesome.
virtual format, and they actually are having a Olympic style promotion where
Mm,
they're promoting Black businesses for the entire year.
awesome.
And so they're looking for speakers and moderators and all of that to help facilitate. And so
Awesome.
I'll definitely pass your name along,
Thank you. I
and that will
appreciate
give
that.
you even more, you know, for people to know who you are. It'll give you more publicity on
Thank
your
you.
book and all of that. And so, because you're able to plug in your book as well when you talk to other authors or other business owners. So I'll
Excellent.
definitely do that. This is like, oh my goodness, wow, phenomenal,
Thank you,
phenomenal. So
Paula.
what do you do for fun? What does Miss Paula do for fun?
So, for fun, I am very much into water activities and beach. So, I love to literally sit in the hot tub. It
Yes.
is my think tank. It is a literal think tank for me. It's an
Yeah.
opportunity for me to just relax and to just enjoy myself and to clear my head. And so
Yes.
when I'm not in my bathing suit and in the hot tub, I love all things beach and seafood. So I love to eat
Nice.
seafood.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
This
mhm.
is this is so great. You are just an all around woman here. You sing, love the beach. You got two books out. We'll say the other one will be out very soon because
Yes.
August is right around the corner.
Yes.
And so and you're still working, but I see you as eventually you're going to be a full-time writer, or you're going to couple that with your coaching,
Yes.
because like I said, there's so many people that need coaching, and it's not the same as going to a shrink as people would think. It's a different way to have somebody help you with your
Absolutely.
issues. And we all
Yes.
need that. We all need that. We all need to be coached because
Yeah.
we don't know everything. We're like going through things in our mind, and it's good to have a professional to bounce those ideas and maybe potential roadblocks, you
Yes.
know, to just discuss those things, and it gives us a better understanding of what we're going through, or whatever it is. And so
Absolutely.
it's so greatly needed,
It
so
really
great.
is. And it's
Yeah.
so important to understand that all of them are important. I don't minimize the role of the therapist. I don't minimize
Yes.
the role of the coach or, any of that because they're all important.
Yes.
Coaching specifically focuses on path forward activity and
Yes.
knowing that as a client, what you need is already inside of you. And so
Yes.
my responsibility and my commitment to you as a coach is to partner with you to have a thought-provoking conversation that
Yeah.
pulls out what's already inside of you. So through
Yeah.
a series of questions, through active listening, and really hearing what it is you're saying, we can pull out really what's already in you. I don't need to feed you new ideas. I
Yes.
don't need to do any of that because I already trust that as the client, you know best about your life. And
Yeah.
so as a result, we're able to ask the right targeted questions that help to move you path forward. Where a therapist may have to work with you on, some historical issues that are blocking you and some things
Yes.
that you need to work through. They're both equally important, but it's
Yes.
not good to ever overlap their roles
Right.
because they offer you distinctive services. Because
Yeah.
I'm a coach, I have coaches, and guess what? I have therapists too. It's all
Yeah.
good because
Yes.
I am working on the best, most authentic version of myself to become
Yes.
presented to the world.
Yes.
And so these people are part of my team that help me to do that. So,
Yes, I love that. I love
mhm,
how you put that. I
yeah,
love it. Absolutely love it. You are just amazing. You
you
are
are too.
amazing. Oh my goodness. I am so blessed to meet the various women and men that come on the show,
Yes,
and I'm just telling you, it's a blessing because everyone is they touch me in different ways, and I get blessed. And
sure.
so I'm so happy that we cross paths,
Me too.
and moving forward, I'd love to have you back on the show, as well as potentially doing some speaking, moderating, for my
Absolutely.
webinars and some of my events as well,
I would
because
love to do that.
awesome, awesome. And that's only gonna expose, you and what you're doing to even more people. So that's really
Absolutely.
my mission. That's what God has placed on me to, use this platform for others so that they can grow, and build their legacy. And so, before we close out today,
Mhm.
are there any closing words that you'd like to give our audience, before we say goodbye?
Yeah, I would just like to encourage anyone listening to this to really know that you are a unique solution to a problem that exists in the earth. And
Mm,
so I want you to, as a result, never dull down your shine. Be intentional about being the absolute best version of yourself that you can be, knowing that you're not here to serve everyone. Everyone's not going to partake of what it is, but there is an audience. There is a community that specifically needs you. And so your responsibility is to prepare yourself to be able to submerge within that community and to serve them to the best of your ability. So I encourage you to believe in yourself. I encourage you to invest in yourself to be the most authentic and you know committed version of yourself that you can be. I encourage you to challenge yourself. Don't just stay within your same walls. Extend and expand yourself and do things that you've never done before. And
mm,
lastly, I encourage you to celebrate yourself because as much as you go hard, make sure you go at play as well. And so make sure you keep a healthy balance about everything that you do. And if you ever need help and assistance, Coach Paula's right here for you.
oh my goodness. Yes, I love that. Oh my goodness, Paula. I love you. Oh
I
my
love
goodness.
you.
Where have you been all my life? Oh
I've been
my
preparing for this moment. That's right.
yes, yes. Wow. I am so blessed to have you on today. And like I said, I'm keeping your information. You
Yes,
are my new friend. And
absolutely.
I thank you so much for
Thank you so
blessing
much.
us today. I
And I
really,
applaud you for what you're doing. I totally enjoyed the class that I had taken with you. In fact, I was thinking of you the other day because I was like, you know what? I think I need to take her up and bring her in as a partner for some coaching that I need related to my book. So
yeah,
I do want to schedule some time with you
Yes,
to some coaching.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I'd be more than happy to. Just
Awesome.
reach out to me, and we'll get our schedules together, and we'll
Sounds
definitely
good.
do that. So
Awesome.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you get Coach Paula's book, Intentional Intimacy. It's available now on Amazon.com. I'm going to order it soon as we get off this show. And so we're going to close out today. You can watch this show, of course, on YouTube and Facebook and on our Black Women Author group page, as well as it's available on audio. So you can check us out on Spotify, Amazon Music. Oh gosh, there's so many. There's like 20 channels. It's hard for me to remember them
Oh
all,
my goodness,
but
that's
all
awesome.
of the basic podcast audio channels you can listen in. Please subscribe to our page, our channels, and listen out. We have just phenomenal, amazing authors on the show. So, with that, everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful day and week. And we'll see you next week on the Authors Lounge.
Awesome.
All right.